afternoon. Welcome to the Roasting Canuck. Today we have a recipe that hits close to home. We have a recipe that I grew up eating as a child and still eat today. It is a dish that is known worldwide, a Canadian classic, and today we are talking about poutine. A lot of you will be familiar with it, but today we are going to be adding a twist to this recipe. Right here we've got some baby back ribs that we are going to be smoking low and slow and using those to top off the recipe at the end. I am excited to share this recipe with you guys, so let's get started. Okay, so over here we've got a nice slab of baby back ribs. I turned it around on its back to expose the ribs. So as you can see here, we've got a membrane. And a lot of you will be familiar with it, I understand, but just in case some of you don't really know how to do this part right here, what I like to do is grab a butter knife, and I will get just between the bone and the membrane, not too deep because then you get into that harder stuff, but just to get in there and kind of loosen up the corner. And then very slippery, so if you can't get a good grip on it, and you'll see this in a lot of other YouTube videos, grab it with the paper towel, and that way you get a nice grip. Should be able to rip it all the way through, just like so. And we discarded this. To season it, I've got some kosher salt and some black pepper. We are going to be just spreading a little bit of kosher salt. Actually, I like to put a little more than a little bit, because you'll see that once you get it on the smoker, a lot of that seasoning is going to penetrate inside the meat, and you want to make sure that you've got some good flavor on this, and salt really improves the flavor. Gonna add a little bit of this black pepper, and then you can just rub it. So even if you add a little more than you'd like, you just rub it all over there. And then we're gonna flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. Add some salt. And you can use one of your hands to rub it inside the meat. Make sure you get a nice amount. I like to make sure it's all over. And add more pepper, black pepper on this side. I'd say that's good. So we're gonna take these ribs, and here in a minute we're going to be putting them on the smoker outside, which I preheated to about 225 degrees. You can always get some excess meat that's sticking out. You can always rip that off or cut it off because that's just going to burn anyway. But yeah, we'll get them on the smoker, and later I'll show you guys how to make a sauce for it. Okay, so we're out here. I have preheated this grill to 240 degrees. We're going to be putting these ribs on here for the next 6 hours. These ribs are going to be smoking and tacking on some good smoke flavor. The wood we're using today, I got these earlier. This is Papa's Premium Hickory wood chips. Wood pellets. I also mixed in some apple wood in here, so combination of both hickory and apple. And get that butter nice and melted. And we're going to add our vinegar. Just a little bit, about a quarter cup or so. Then we're going to add in our beef stock, or beef base. About a spoonful like this. And some chicken broth base. At the end, and then the dishwasher bib. Don't stop. About 2 spoonfuls. Okay. And we're going to add a little bit of ketchup. And some maple syrup. Bring this up. Now we're going to add a little bit of water in here. About a quarter cup or so. So over here we got the cheese sticks. The ones I'm using is this mozzarella cheese, low moisture part skim. I've found that these work really well. There's different brands. And then we just obviously take this and just peel it. And then we're gonna stick them in here, and then we're just gonna cut them up into little bite-sized pieces. Okay, so now we have our tray of little cheese curds, actually cheese sticks. I'm going to be covering it in foil, and then we're going to be sticking them in the oven. Alright, so now on to slicing the potatoes. We're going to cut them about a 1/4 inch or so. Just slice them across this way, and we're going to turn them around, slice them, and then you'll have to turn them back around and slice them again. We're trying to get these potato slices to be like French fries, so we want to try and cut them into rectangles as much as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Idaho potatoes and russet potatoes are pretty large potatoes, so it's a lot easier to get a good size French fry when you're using larger potatoes like these. And now for the initial frying test. You want to get your oil nice and hot, and then just throw a little piece of fry in there just to make sure that your oil is hot enough for frying all your fries. So if it's bubbling quite a bit like this, you're probably good. Oil should be quite hot to be able to get some crispy fries. And you probably take it out, and oil's hot enough to fry the rest of your fries. So once your oil is hot enough, you can throw in your first batch of fries in there. And they shouldn't take too long to get golden like this. And you can take them out and set them aside in this colander or strainer. That way it lets a little bit of air through them, and it allows them to stay crispy. But we are going to be frying them a second time after this. But yeah, just go with your initial fry. Take them out when they're about this golden. Alright, now so the fries have rested for about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to throw them back in there for the second stage frying. It'll allow the fries to stay crispy, and up until the time it is to put the cheese and the sauce on there. You'll like the end product a lot better. It'll just be way crispier. Throw them in there, and the oil should still be pretty hot, and then separate them just so they don't stick to each other, like so. And once they start floating to the surface again, shouldn't take too long. We can take them out of there, and as you can see, they've gotten just a little darker. And I don't know if you can hear that right here, but you can just tell that they're very crispy right now. That's what we want. Alright, so this is your end product right here as far as the French fries are concerned. You end up with a nice crispy French fry that won't lose its crispiness. I always do them that way. I never went back. Okay, so as you can see, the poutine sauce has thickened quite a bit. I would say it's pretty much ready. Just to check, make sure for consistency, you can take a spoon like this and slowly drip it back into the pan. And look at this. This is nice and syrupy. It's what I prefer because it'll stick to the fries that way. Alright, so the color on these ribs is starting to look where I like them. So I have double layered a sheet of foil here. Just gonna grab these and wrap them up. Just gonna tuck these in, sides in right here, fold it over, and then we're gonna take another sheet and then just overlap it and fold it, tuck it underneath. That way it can contain all the juices. Now for the cherry barbecue sauce, just take a bunch of garlic, crush it, and just chop it coarsely, because we're going to hand blend it anyway. We are going to start off by melting a little bit of butter in a saucepan. Just swish it around a little bit, and then add your garlic. This is going to be medium to low heat. And then I like to use Nature's Promise 100% black cherry juice. It just tastes like actual cherries. And put about a quarter cup to a little more than a quarter cup, maybe just under half a cup. Then we're going to do a quarter cup of maple syrup. Gotta use maple syrup. Then we're going to add about a quarter cup of white vinegar, like so. And then we're just going to add a little salt. You don't have to put a lot, just you can always add more later if you need to. And just come back and whisk it around a little bit. Wait for that butter to render, and then we'll just let it simmer for a little bit. Alright, so the cherry sauce has simmered for a little bit. We're going to take our hand blender and we're going to be blending it all together, trying to get that garlic incorporated in there, and that should thicken the sauce quite a bit. Also, the sauce has been simmering for about 25 to 30 minutes or so, so it's reduced quite a bit. Alright, so we're going to take this out. These ribs are, I can feel it falling apart. Look at that. So, I don't know if you can see this. bones are protruding out. That means it's pretty much ready. We're just going to baste a little bit of sauce on this. And then it's going to go back to the smoker. It's on really high heat right now, about 375 degrees. And we're just going to let the sauce tack on to the ribs. Pretty much just caramelize on there. And then we'll be able to cut into them and top off the poutine with these delicious, sweet, and tangy sherry sauce ribs. Gotta leave it open. That way the sauce will get exposed to the heat and caramelize. Alright, so we got the ribs here. We got the French fries over here. We got the cheese curds over here. And we've got the Poutine sauce over here. And now we're gonna cut into the center these ribs. They're just falling apart. They're just falling off the bone. Look at this. The bone's just falling off of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick some French fries. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. French fries in there. Stick some cheese curds in there. And then we're going to add the poutine sauce. Some rib meat. We're going to make sure to get some of that rib meat, some of that cheese, and some sauce.
That's a lot of cheese in one bite.
In one bite. That's a lot of cheese in one bite.
Ay, 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 ay.
Mmm.